The other thing that is really a hack and that a lot of people don't know about is law school legal clinics. So law schools are training people how to be lawyers, and they have legal clinics that allow people to get hands-on training to do this. And at a law school legal clinic, you're actually going to be represented by a law student who is working with a practicing lawyer. Hey everybody, this is Shontavia from Shontavia.gov, and you're in the right place if you want to be inspired to build the brand and business you were made for. In this video, I want to show you what I would do if I had $500 to start a business. So I know it's hard out here. We are in the middle of either a complete recession or a looming recession. Unemployment is through the roof, and many of us are looking around trying to figure out how to create additional revenue streams so that we're not reliant on a job that may not be here tomorrow, depending on what happens with the economy and with everything that is happening, especially in the United States. So if I had $500, the first thing I would do is register my business with the Secretary of State. And according to the Small Business Administration, on average, this should cost about $300. Now, I am completely removing lawyers and legal fees from the table. I'm completely removing all the additional supplemental things that you might use when you want a little help. Because I understand if you have $500, that means that hiring a lawyer may be difficult. Lawyers' fees are really, really expensive. But if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll give you one hack that you can use when you can't afford to hire a lawyer. Well, actually, two hacks. I'll give you two hacks, things you can do if you cannot afford to hire a lawyer right now. So again, going back to that first point, I would register my business with the Secretary of State. On average, the fees, the registration fees that you pay directly to the state for doing this, according to the SBA, are about $300. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't have to be the state where you live in. It might be the state where you live in, but it doesn't have to be. I'll drop a link in the show notes to a blog post where I go into more detail about that. But at any rate, that would be the first thing I do. Now, if I've spent about $300, I've got about $200 left. The next thing I'm going to recommend that you do probably is going to cost you about $50, and that is start a business bank account. Now, what it cost me to start my business bank account was about $50, and that was $50 that went into that business bank account. Your bank may not charge you anything. Your bank may have a higher minimum, but at any rate, create your business bank account. And I'm going to use the number that I used when I started my first business bank account, which was $50. So now we're at about $350 that you have to get your business started. Now, keep in mind, to get that business bank account, you probably are going to need a tax ID number or a tax EIN number, employee identification number. You can get that at IRS.gov for free. That doesn't cost money. You can do it online at specific hours of the day. So head over to IRS.gov to figure out more about how you get that tax EIN number, but that shouldn't cost you any money at all. So you've spent about $350. You've got about $150 left. And here's what I'd recommend you do with that last $150. Now, again, I'm assuming if you've got $500, you probably don't have the money to hire a high-priced lawyer. What you can do is either buy, so you'll have to spend some of your $150. You can buy a series of books that I'm going to recommend, or you can just rent them from the library. I've rented these books from the library many times myself, even as a practicing lawyer. And the series that I'm going to recommend is called NOLO, N-O-L-O. And so NOLO has thousands of different DIY products, including legal forms, online documents, and books that walk you step by step through how to register your business. So like I mentioned first, if you're going to register your business and you don't have the money to hire a lawyer, I have found the NOLO books pretty good, especially if you are willing to put in the time and effort to do a little reading and do a little research. NOLO is pretty good, and it walks you step by step through how you can register your business and how to even choose an LLC, a corporation, a nonprofit. So NOLO is where I always start when I suggest this to people who can't afford to hire a lawyer. So that is one hack you can use. I'll give you two, but one of the hacks is buy or reserve from the library, rent from the library, check out from the library, these NOLO resources, NOLO, and I'll drop a link below so that you can find all the different resources that you need. So you may spend your money there on those NOLO resources if you want to buy the books. I'd recommend just checking them out from the library. A lot of libraries now even let you check things out virtually if you're still social distancing and staying at home. You probably can look at some of these things online depending on the library that you are a member of. And if you're not a member of a library, you definitely need to do that too. So with that last $150, if you haven't spent it on the NOLO books, I want you to, and this actually is free, keep your $150, do some brainstorming around an intellectual property strategy. And by that I mean, think about all the things that you are creating, will create, and have already created. So that might be videos, it might be social media posts, it might be ebooks, it might be webinars. Think about all of those things as your intellectual property. Now, I don't think you need to go out and register every tweet as a copyright, and you may not even be able to do that for some of your tweets. I don't think you need to go file lots of trademark applications necessarily, but you can create a strategy for free where you identify the things that you have created that might be trademarkable, the things that you've created that might be copyrightable, the things that you want to invent that might be patentable. And I'll drop some links in the show notes to some more videos I've created about how to even know whether you have something that is trademarkable, copyrightable, or patentable. But anyway, create that strategy for yourself for free. So you spent less than $500, you spent maybe about $350. And if you can't afford to hire a lawyer and you've bought some books, you may have spent a little more than that. Now, if you want to do something else with that $150, if you have created copyrightable content, so that might be books, videos, photos, whatever, you can copyright those things without spending any money, and that process is a little bit complex. And again, some of the videos in the links below will explain for you how you know whether or not you have something copyrightable. But if you want to file a copyright application, you can on your own file a copyright application for as little as $45. Filing fee with the Copyright Office is about $45. Now, if you're going to do that on your own, NOLO actually has some pretty good resources, some pretty good books that walk you step by step through how to file your own copyright application. Same with trademarks. Now, to register your trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, you can do that for as little as $225. I do think you need to do a ton of research on your own. If you're going to try to do it on your own, use NOLO. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of NOLO. I'm not paid by NOLO to say that. I don't know anybody at NOLO, but I just think they offer some really good resources. So you can do that for free. But the final hack I want to give you, you spent maybe $350, maybe a little bit more. If you have $500, these are the things I think you need to do with your money. But it is so important for you, if you read through these NOLO books and things are a little complicated, they don't make a whole lot of sense, you need to talk to a lawyer. Two things about that, because it's going to cost you a whole lot more than the $150 you have left to hire a lawyer. But here are two things you can do. So the first is you can reach out to a bar association if you don't already know a lawyer and you have reached out to lawyers and it's really expensive or whatever. Bar associations in your state, in your city, and maybe even in your county will offer for some states, some states, some counties, some cities, it really depends on where you live. Some of them will give you a list of lawyers who will have an initial consultation for free. Now, obviously, lawyers are doing these consultations because they want to hire clients, but some firms also have pro bono programs where they will take on entrepreneurs in their work for free. I'll drop a link to some firms who I know actually who are doing that. So reach out to bar associations, maybe in your state, maybe in your city, maybe in your county. And this really is advice for people in the US. But if you reach out to bar associations, some of them have this information on their website. They'll give you a list of lawyers who are willing to talk to you for free to have that initial consultation. The other thing that is really a hack and that a lot of people don't know about is law school legal clinics. So law schools are training people how to be lawyers, and they have legal clinics that allow people to get hands-on training to do this. And at a law school legal clinic, you're actually going to be represented by a law student who is working with a practicing lawyer. And so that practicing lawyer will give them advice and make sure they're doing all the right things. But in those legal clinics, you get pretty good counsel, and sometimes you get great counsel because the law student is going to be motivated to do a really good job. They're probably going to spend a lot of extra time making sure that they're doing something for you the right way. And these are senior level law students. So these aren't people who just got in the door in law school. These typically are late second year law students or third year law students who may even be about to graduate. So they're going to be a lawyer in a few months anyway, who are going to give you this advice. So I highly, highly recommend looking for legal clinics, and in particular, transactional legal clinics. Oftentimes, that's what they're called. A transactional clinic is a clinic that represents people outside of court. So this isn't litigation where you're in court, where you have a dispute. These are transactional legal clinics where they're helping you typically with business transactions. The other thing about law school legal clinics is some of them have actually been certified by the United States Patent and Trademark Office to file trademark applications and patent applications, and they can do that really for free. So you don't pay any attorney's fees or legal fees for many law school USPTO legal clinics. You just pay the filing fees, which are reduced if you meet a certain income threshold or a certain poverty level. It kind of depends, and the number is really based on a couple of different things. So you'll have to reach out to a USPTO legal clinic in your area to find out if you qualify and if they can take you on as a client. So that's it. That's what I would do if I had $500. I would register my business, which is probably going to cost me about $300, give or take, depending on the state I'm in. I would open a business bank account, and I'd probably put about $50 in it, whatever the minimum is. Maybe there's a $0 minimum. My bank was $50, so I would do that, put about $50 in the bank and get a tax ID number, which is free. And then with the other $150 or so dollars, I might buy some NOLO books. If I wanted to hold on to my $150, I would reserve those books. I would check those books out of my local library if they have them. And I would recognize that it may still be important to talk to a lawyer. Some of this stuff is really, really complicated, both registering a business and getting trademarks and copyrights, and especially patents. Trademarks too. Some of this stuff is deceivingly complex. So I would reach out to my local bar association, state, county, or city, depending on where I was. Not everybody has all of them. And I would also see if there's a law school legal clinic in my area who could help me for free. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments. What are some other hacks you found as you started your business? Where have you figured out a place to save money? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. I post videos like this every day with tips and strategies that will help you create the brand and business you were made for. Thanks.